Did you know the average homeowner right now is sitting on $185,000 worth of equity? The worst thing about it is that most homeowners don't even know how to get access to it. And even worse, they don't even know what to do with it. But that's why you have me, right? Today I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can access that equity, and more importantly, what you should do with it. Let me tell you about James. James is a government employee. He bought his very first house, and it looked a lot like this one here. The house was great. It had a walkout basement apartment that essentially paid for James to live upstairs for free. Now this is what James did after only owning the house for about a year. James went back to the bank and he told them, look, I need to take some money out of this house because he wanted to buy another property. And do you know what happened? Mr. Banker gave government employee James $20,000 out of his house. Now, James had the money he needed to buy the next house, and boom! Before you know it, 2 houses became 5 houses became 20, and only in a few short years, James was able to retire early and become financially free. So today I'm going to share with you 3 different major ways that you can access your equity without selling your home. At the end of the day, you want to keep your house. That's part of the strategy of actually getting ahead. And after I show you how to actually access the equity, I'm going to share with you some cool things that you can do with it. It's going to be a really good time, so stay tuned. So let's start by defining what home equity is. Think about this. You bought a house for, let's say, $200,000, and today it's worth $400,000. So the difference between what you owe and what it's worth is called equity. So if I owe 200 grand on it and it's worth 400 grand, then the difference between the two is $200,000. Now I owe $200,000 on this, but I also have $200,000 worth of equity in this property. Understanding this might be exactly what you need to hit the jackpot on your next real estate investment strategy. Because here's the truth. If you throw your money into an RSP or TFSA, you know, the normal stuff that your CPA and your friends tell you to do, you're never going to get where you want to be, which is financial freedom. First of all, you have like an 85% chance of not even liking what you do for a living. But here's what's even worse. When you actually look at your savings and realize that your savings are growing with a nearly invisible single-digit return, like maybe 5 or 6%, by the time you're actually retired, you're not gonna have enough money to retire the way that you want to retire. I don't know why everyone just won't do the basic math and realize that the system we were giving is not working. But here's the reality. In the game of real estate, we're averaging anywhere between 20 and 40% annual ROIs, and in some cases, infinite returns when you really get down and know what you're doing. So why are we talking about 3 ways to pull money out of your house? Well, it's because only 1 in 5 Canadians are doing it. That means that 80% of you have money locked up in your house and you're not even using it. If you just knew how to get that money out, we could do some really cool things. Today, I'm going to show you how we can do some really cool stuff with the 3 different ways of accessing equity from your home. So first of all, you guys were there in 2020, 2021 when the value of homes went incredibly high, right? Check this out. The average amount of home equity in Canada right now is currently at a record high. In 2021 alone, the average homeowner saw an increase in their equity by almost $48,000, which is why the average homeowner now has an equity stake of nearly $185,000. Yes, $185,000. The point is, if you own real estate and you're watching this video and you haven't accessed any of the equity, then you might be missing out on one of the smartest things that you could be doing right now, which is, in my opinion, investing in real estate. Let me tell you an easy way for you to reach financial freedom. It's simple. Make your money work for you. When you pull money out of your house and you put it somewhere where it's actually doing something more than the cost of actually pulling it out in the first place, that's what we call positive arbitrage. The money or equity that you take out at like 5% is put over here in an investment that's earning anywhere from 20, 25, 30%, or even more. We're making like 5 times more money over here than you are over here with your regular investment. It's crazy stuff, eh? Now check this out. The first way to pull money out is through a HELOC, which stands for Home Equity Line of Credit. A HELOC is a revolving line of credit similar to a credit card that you can draw on as needed. HELOCs are secured by an asset, which is the equity in your home or the actual piece of real estate. HELOCs are also great as they tend to have higher credit limits and better interest rates than credit cards or other personal loans. Now, banks don't like to own real estate, but they love to lend on it, and that's why a HELOC can be so powerful. Let's go back to our government employee James as an example here. James got a $20,000 HELOC from the bank. And do you know what he did with it? He used it as a down payment on another house. James took the time, he fixed it up over the next few years, and he later got another HELOC on the new property for almost $130,000. I know, it's crazy. And guess what James did with that new equity in that house? You guessed it, he used it to buy another house. And guess what? He took out another 6 figures on that HELOC in just a few short years. The moral of the story is, if you have equity in your home, it is a really great and viable funding strategy for some really smart real estate investments.
But Isaiah, investing in a HELOC is too risky.
Listen up, the riskiest thing, or the greatest risk of all, is investing in a system that you know is broken and never going to get you to where you want to be. Putting your head down and working at a job that you don't even like for a single source of income, now that's what I call risky. But I get it, I do. Investing has an element of risk. But guess what? At least it gives you a shot of getting where you're trying to go. I always say shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Now, the second way to access equity in your home is getting what's called a home equity loan. Not to be confused with a home equity line of credit. They're two separate things. This is considered to be a fixed loan. This is where you go to the bank and they hit you with something like this. Well, sir, you already have a first mortgage and it's already in place. And you owe us $200,000, but houses like yours, they're going for around $400,000 these days. So guess what I can do for you? I'm gonna give you another fixed loan for $120,000 in equity, and we won't touch that first mortgage. How does that sound, son? That sounds great, and that's exactly how a home equity loan is gonna work. Now, I gotta tell you, I do like a home equity line of credit just a little bit more. It's because when you're not using it, you don't have to pay for it, and that can be great for your cash flow. If you pull the equity in this fixed home equity loan, you feel like you have to use all $120K all at once. But if you have an investment where you only need like 70 grand, then you're gonna have $50,000 sitting in your bank account, earning next to nothing, which is lowering your overall total return. So you can do it this way, but you wanna make sure that a home equity loan is the best option. And if not, you can explore some of the other 3 options. Option number 3 to pull money out of your home is known as a cash out refinance. A cash out refinance results in less equity in your home overall, which means that your lender or the bank is taking on greater risk. And as a result, closing costs, fees, interest rates can be a little bit higher on a standard refinance. You're basically restructuring the whole loan. Think about it like this. You owe $200,000 on this bad boy right here, and now it's worth $400,000. Essentially, what you're going to do is redo the whole loan and get a new loan for $320,000. That's 80% of the original $400,000 for all my nerds and math people out there. Now, the bank is gonna say that they're gonna need $200,000 to pay off that initial first mortgage. But that's okay, there's $120,000 left over. So you get $120,000 worth of cash right now. Again, this isn't my favorite option unless you know exactly what you're gonna do with that $120K and you're gonna use all of it. Let me share a little secret with you guys here. You can start by doing a home equity line of credit because it's free. You're gonna get that money on a HELOC because remember, if you don't use it, you don't have to pay for it. Then you're gonna go invest those HELOC funds into something that makes you money, i.e. a piece of real estate. And then when the time is right, you can refinance, lock in those funds at a lower interest rate so it's no longer variable, and therefore your payments won't go up and down. Now, I know what you're thinking, guys. You're like, oh, Isaiah, you think you're slick, eh? If I take equity out of my house and I get a pile of cash, isn't my payments gonna increase? What am I gonna do then? Well, you're right. If you pull money out and you go buy something like a boat that's dumb, your mortgage is gonna go up and it's probably gonna cost you some more money to own and operate that boat as well. This means that the only responsible reason to access your home's equity is to be buying something that makes you money. And here's one of my favorite money rules. Put your money into something that pays you. When you put your money into a TFSA, does it pay you? No. Does your RRSPs pay you? No. Do your S&P 500 stock portfolio really pay you? The answer is still no. They're not really the best investments in my book. I choose to put my money somewhere where it can make me money every single month. Honestly, I'm trying to make money while I sleep, and that's the mindset that a lot of people have across the world, and those people are retiring early with real estate. By taking equity out of your home and investing it in real estate, you can see returns that would blow your RRSPs, your pensions, your TFSAs right out of the water. This is why 90% of all millionaires did it in the game of real estate, and if you have equity in your home, you can too. Are you interested in learning more about how you can leverage your equity and build wealth in real estate? If that sounds like you, then I'd love to hop on a call together. Why don't you click the link below and I'd be happy to get you on the path to early retirement and generational wealth with real estate. Hey, if you enjoyed the video and you're looking for more real estate investing content like this, don't forget to like this video and go ahead, tap that big red subscribe button so you don't miss anything we got coming out here. For First Position Real Estate, my name's Isaiah Henry, signing off.